Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm checking out a 2020 Lexus RX 350 all-wheel drive. This vehicle is sitting on 235/55 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss metallic gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Moonbeam Beige Metallic. And it's a nice, classy color, not too flashy or anything. Hopefully you can see the sun's kind of going down a little bit, but hopefully you can see what it looks like. So looking here at the front, really impressive. The lighting is all LED, so that's a huge plus. And it's a quality LED. You can check out my night video. I show what it's like driving down the road and what the lights look like and everything. So really impressive. So here in the center, there's the Lexus emblem, but just below that, there's a little camera right here, hidden, and that's part of a full camera system, which is very impressive and easy to use because it like automatically turns on and off. But as far as the visibility around the vehicle, is fantastic. And the center grille is like a metallic silver, and it has this floating three-dimensional look, which is really nice. You can see the top portion is like a square, more of a square, and then the bottom portion is more like a L shape or a hockey stick type shape. But it's pretty neat, and it's all surrounded by this like a chrome trim around the outside, which is looking cool. The very bottom is a silver portion at the very bottom right here, silver. And then your LED fog lights. You have cornering lights right in here on the inner portion of the fog lights. Now this piece right here, it looks like it's enclosed, but it actually does have a little bit of a place for air to flow through and create like an air blade, I guess you can say, through there, and an air curtain around the wheels for aerodynamics. It also has parking sensors. You see one's right here, another one's here, and they'll kind of beep at you. In addition to the camera, they also have the parking sensors front and rear, full camera system, really impressive. These little squares on both sides, that's your headlight washer. They pop out and squirt headlight washer fluid on your headlights in intervals. When you're cleaning your windshield, it'll occasionally do that. It's like a high pressure spray. Now the headlights are three little tiny projectors, and man, are they bright, super bright, amazing. They also auto level, and you have a black bezel. Your turn signals up here are LED, and it's a amber line kind of underscoring the headlights. Now the daytime running lights are super bright. They're under bottom portion, and man, you can mistake those for headlights. They are super bright. So it's a good thing this has an automatic function to go ahead and turn your lights on, and because if you might forget, you might think you have your headlights on with those daytime running lights on. So looking at the profile here, you can see the way the sun's casting on the vehicle really shows the styling with the lines here and there. It has a fairly subtle black trim piece around the base of the vehicle. So here and around the wheel well and across here, all the way around the sides and the back, it has this protective piece, and it helps with road debris and stuff like that as far as not contacting the paint. But it's not too big. It's kind of subtle. Now the doors go all the way down to the bottom, so I'll show you what the benefit is of that shortly. Now the handles and the side mirrors are all body colored. The pillars are blacked out. So right in here is blacked out with a gloss black. You do have some chrome around the side windows here. This portion here actually has a window in it, and then this bottom piece is just for looks, the black portion. It kind of connects the rear glass to the side glass there. There's a camera under here, so that's part of that camera system. You can see it right here. It's kind of like a GoPro type camera, and I'll show you what they look like inside the vehicle. It's really cool. This is what the key looks like, and it's a proximity key system. And you can use this vehicle 100% without taking your key out of your pocket or your bag. It's fairly light. It is relatively thin, and but it is square, and you do have to lug it around with you, but it's not so bad. It has useful buttons on it as well. Lock and unlock, the ability to open up the power lift gate, and a panic button. Let's go ahead and push that panic button. All right, so it has a pretty decent horn. Now there's a physical key on the inside as well. You can push that button there on the side and access it, and it's right there where the key ring is attached. So as long as you have this key with you, you can keep it in your pocket, in a bag, as long as it's with you and it's close to the outside of any of these doors. They all have the same sensors, which is really nice. There's a little sensor right here indicated by this little dimple that you can push. You just basically put your finger on or your hand on or whatever. Senses the key, it senses your hand position, and it locks the door. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind any of these handles, and now there's a sensor back here that unlocks the doors and allows you access to the vehicle. Now, only on the driver's side, there is a physical key location just under here. So you have to kind of put it in from the bottom angle, and you can access it. It's kind of slanted down. So I mentioned that the doors go all the way down, and this is what I'm talking about. You can see this door goes all the way to the bottom of the vehicle. Kind of looks like it almost goes, yeah, it goes all the way to the bottom. And it has a seal here at the bottom. And basically the attempt is to keep dirt and debris from getting in this door jamb. So when you get in and out of the vehicle, the door jamb is going to be relatively clean relative to the outside of the vehicle. So you don't get your clothes dirty dragging it in this area while you're trying to get in and out of the vehicle. It does have a little bit of a stance, so you do have to kind of get up in there. For me, it's perfect height, but your clothes are going to touch that area. So that's kind of what the purpose of that, covering up the bottom portion of the threshold. So I think that's a great idea. Now you do have these lights, and it appears that they are, you can check my night video, they're puddle lights, but it appears like they're not LED. You have this compartment, and you pull this out to access it a little bit better, and you can put stuff in there. It does have a bottle holder right in here, and there's a felt lining in the bottom, and you can kind of secures the bottle fairly well, and you can put different size bottles. Lots of room there. You also have this pocket. It's a felt lined pocket here. It's also like your handle to pull the door shut, but it is enclosed, so you can use that as a pocket. It's pretty handy too, a good position. So the inside of the door, a lot of soft touch. So here, here, and here, and this is really soft. It's pretty soft. It's not like some vehicles. It's all soft in here. Now you have hard touch surfaces at the bottom. There's a speaker. The sound system is fantastic. There's a speaker here in the door. And everywhere where you see this brown, this is actually bamboo wood, and it's genuine, real bamboo. It's not a synthetic material. So you have a little sill plate, Lexus sill plate there in the threshold. Power heated, cooled seats here on the passenger side. And you can go up and down as well, like some vehicles don't have that. And also a two-way lumbar adjustment. Very comfortable seats. You see the perforations in the center portion, and the contour is fantastic. And the perforations are a good size, so when you turn on the vented seat option, you can actually feel the air pretty good. Some vehicles you can't really feel it that much, but this one is nice. Here's the floorboard in front of the passenger seat, and the floor mats are like a Berber type carpet. They hook in place in two places, keeping them straight for you. There's a little bit of tapering here on the right side, but overall fantastic legroom. You also have a little pocket here on the side of the center console. You can put some stuff in there. Does have a lockable glove compartment. Push the button to open it up. It's felt lined on the inside. And it's pretty good size. And then look at the size of the manual. Look at that. It's all felt lined. Soft touch surfaces too. Here, the entire dash. Massive sunroof. I'll show you that later on. So you can see the opening of the front door, really big. You have plenty of leg room here and headroom. Getting in and out of the vehicle in the front is no problem. The swing of the door is also really good as well. Swings out quite well. So same thing with the back door. Usually they skimp on the back to give you more room in the front, but you have a wide swinging door. You have a little bit of tapering here in the back, but overall getting into the back seat, the headroom when you get in is fantastic, and getting in and out is just great for me anyway. So here's the inside of the back door. You can see it has similar styling. There is 2 speakers. You have one here and one there. The door goes all the way to the bottom, just like the front door. There's a puddle light. Soft touch here, and here. This is enclosed, and you have a pocket at the bottom. Hard touch surfaces back down here, and you do have some wood as well. These back seats, they're able to adjust. So you can adjust and recline the back using this handle. You can also pull them forward if you need to. So if you put a car seat in here, you can pull them forward and get a little bit more cargo area, or just adjust them in different ways that you need. On the back of both front seats is a compartment here. It's a pocket, and it's kind of like a stiff panel that is kind of spring-loaded, so you can put stuff in there, but it's not like a bag or a pocket like other vehicles. It's a little strange, but it is usable. And that's on the back of both front seats. And then this is a kind of a protective material. It's not a hard plastic. It is soft, but it is a little bit harder than, say, this part. In the back of the console, you have 2 climate control and 2 power. These are charge ports, USB charge ports back here. 2.1 amp. And you have a completely flat floor as well, all the way flat. So if you have a center passenger, no problem as far as their legroom. Now if you do have a center passenger, you will have to flip up this armrest. And it is soft to the touch, very soft, super duper soft. Cup holders here, you close up. That lifts up out of the way. So putting a center passenger here is no problem. It does have the latch system for car seats, and it's right here with no cover, so it's visible, but it's not too visible, and you don't have to have any little plastic covers to take off and move or whatever. So all that's really nice. The side mirrors are auto dimming, and they have the blind spot monitor and rear cross traffic alert sensor indicators on each side. So looking at the top here, you can see it has these roof rails in silver. A little shark fin antenna, body colored here in the center portion. This is your third brake light at the top of the glass. Now this overhang under here is a wiper that swings down. So that keeps it out of the sun, so it lasts a little bit longer as far as not cracking and getting dried out, the windshield wiper, the rubber part. Also, it swings down, and let's say if you have ice on the glass, it swings down and pushes the ice down instead of trying to lift it up, like some other wipers go this way or whatever. So it keeps it out of sight, more aerodynamic, it's out of the sun, and it's more efficient. So it's a great place to put it. Now, the backup camera is offset, so I'm not sure why that is, but it's over here on the left side. It could be in the very middle. I think that would have been better. In prior years, they had a sensor behind this emblem and you would put your hand in front of it or on it, and it would open up the power lift gate. This one has a kick sensor, so you actually have to kick your foot and it'll open up for you, as long as you have the key with you. Tail lights are powered by LEDs, of course. All the lights, like I mentioned, on the exterior. A few of the lights, I'm surprised, in the door don't appear to be LEDs, but everything on the outside is LEDs. There's parking sensors across the back. And then you have exhaust surrounds here, where the actual the exhaust does flow through these surrounds. They're not just for looks. And this is a reflector right here. That's just a reflector. You can check out my night video. I'll show all the lights in detail. Okay, so you can use the key to open this up, or you can also push this button. So we go ahead and push that button, and it beeps at you and lifts up. It does have an over-the-shoulder type light here, which is nice. And this is all carpeted. That portion's carpeted, and it's a fairly thick carpet. It does have a shade in which you can move out of the way. It has two LED lights, one on each side. You also have a subwoofer here on the left side. I got all my junk in the way, but I think you can see there's lots of room back here. It's fantastic. This one also came with a first aid kit, which is pretty neat. And under this load floor is a full diameter spare tire. It's not a full size, like exactly like what's on the vehicle, but you're able to put it on here, on the vehicle with the all-wheel drive, and it's a full diameter. There's also tie downs on each corner. So you have one up here and back here on each side. There's a power supply, 12-volt power supply, right here on the left side. And on both sides, you have this little hanger that you can hang bags or whatever on it. Now, folding these seats down, you can use these handles to pull those and fold them down, but they don't always go all the way down for some reason. Maybe it's because it's a fairly new vehicle, but they just kind of like flop a little bit down. Let's try it. And it actually almost went all the way down that time. Let's try the other one. That one didn't go all the way down. It hit the front seat, that's why. But it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they go all the way down, sometimes they don't. But you do have the ability to at least get it going anyway, to lower the seat. And this adds to your cargo space. So you have the ability, it's a 60, it's actually a 40, 20, 40. So the center portion folds down independently, if you'd like, and then if you want to fold down the right side, it's a 60-40 split, basically, once you lock that center portion. But basically, you can have passenger and cargo space added to the vehicle when needed. So you can have, passengers back here and a big cargo box or a long box or whatever, which is nice. Or you can you can fold everything down and have a massive spot, take out the shade, and it looks great. So lowering the power lift gate, you can push this button to lower it. This button lowers it, then locks the vehicle. So this is really handy if you get your stuff out of the vehicle and you're done, you're ready to go inside. You just push that, it closes up the power lift gate, and then everything locks up for you, so you know the vehicle's secure. But we're just gonna go ahead and push this one and close it up. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it is lockable. It locks with the vehicle. Right now the vehicle's unlocked, so it is unlocked. And it has the traditional cap, tether. It has a pretty unique way of holding the cap for you. So you put the cap right here, like so, and it has a little spot that holds it for you, and it's fairly secure, but it's different than a lot of other manufacturers. So it is a good way of holding it, just as long as you know that you have that. Because you just look at that and you're like, it doesn't look like a cap holder, but that's what it is. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle to start it up, you just put your foot on the brake, hold it, and push this button. Well, I'm sitting here, I might as well show you the heads-up display. You can see it has a lot of information, a lot more than a lot of vehicles, and you can customize this, change the brightness, and adjust everything. But it does have a digital speedometer, what gear you're in, your tachometer, your RPMs, digital compass, and your lane keep assist information. Also, when you put the turn on other features, it has more information there. Also, road sign information as well. It's pretty interesting, and it's easy on the eyes. Even though there's a lot of stuff there, I'm not a big fan personally of heads-up displays, but this one is actually not as annoying as you would think, considering there's so much there. I don't know if it's the brightness or the whatever, the clarity of it, but it's no problem for me, and I'm usually annoyed by heads-up displays. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat, and it hooks in place in 2 places, just like the passenger side. There's the accelerator and brake pedal. You notice the accelerator pivots here on the bottom, right there. Massive footrest here on the left side, which is great. Love that. So let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there is a latch a little bit to the right of center. So there's your center line. It's a little bit to the right there. You just reach in and lift up on it, and then you can lift the hood. And the hood stays up, like it even at this low level, it still holds itself. And there's the latch there, so you can see what's happening when I reach in and lift up. And so we can lift it up, and it holds itself up. It's really nice. Has some insulation in the center portion of the hood. There's a seal across the back here, and there on the sides. This helps with airflow and is, of course, noise. You have one at the front as well, right in here. Your engine compartment is well insulated. I mean, it has all this insulation across the back, and there's a little bit of heat shielding. I don't know if you can see, it looks like there's some back there. Underneath the cover is some foam. It's like a really high density foam right here, and that helps with noise, vibrations, echoes, that kind of stuff. You can kind of tell a little bit of additional noise when I take that out of the way. So that's actually pretty interesting. It actually does a pretty decent job, other than just cover up the engine and hide it from you. So the exhaust, it does have exhaust. So this is a V6, a 3.5 liter. That's why it's a RX 350, 3.5 liter V6. There's a cylinder head here, and there's a cylinder head there, and you have your intake there in the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the center portion, and there's exhaust on either side. So it's a pretty good size engine turned sideways as far as the orientation here in this vehicle. So it's primarily a front-wheel drive vehicle, but the power goes also to the rear wheels, making it all-wheel drive. And then the battery is over here on the right side. It also has some insulation around the sides. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So you have 3 presets for your power seat. It also adjusts your side mirrors and the position of your steering column as well. Power windows are all one touch up and down. So even in the back, one touch down, goes all the way down and all the way up, unlike some vehicles. You also have laminated glass here on the sides. So it's 2 panes of glass with an acoustic material on the inside. Now this is a durable windshield, but also, window. It's also helps keep noise from entering the vehicle, and it does do a good job. I mean, the vehicle is really soundproof. I was passing lawnmowers and tractors and motorcycles, and I mostly didn't even hear any of that. It's pretty neat. All right, so there's your door lock controls. Your side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. And you have your side mirrors. You can push this button to fold them, so it's a power folding side mirrors. But you also have an automatic, so they'll automatically power fold. So we can turn that on, and has a little indicator light. So when you turn the vehicle off, it'll go ahead and fold them up for you when you park. So typically, the driver's seat usually one-ups the passenger with some kind of extra feature. But in this case, the passenger side has so many features going up and down and all that stuff that the driver's side is just like the passenger, so they're both equal. The lumbar adjustment, heated and cooled seats, and they are just great, fantastic, comfortable seats. I love these seats, and don't get fatigued like some other vehicles. To the left of the steering column, there's a little pocket here, and it's felt lined. So it's felt lined. You can put change in there. It won't rattle around so much. And this is how you open it, by pushing that button. This is how you turn your heated steering wheel on right here. This is your camera view, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. It's on the screen in the center of the vehicle. Auto high beams. You can turn that feature on. You will have to turn your high beams on, though, to make sure that now it'll turn on. It says, gives you a little reminder if you don't have it done. The ability to open up the power lift gate, and then your heads-up display, you can turn that on or off. It also serves as a kind of like a shortcut to, it'll ask you if you want to go ahead and adjust it as well when you start playing with that button. Dimmer switch for your interior gauges are here, and then your odometer trip. You can go to your different trips or your odometer, and then you can reset your trips as well right here. Power steering column. It goes in and out, up and down. I'm sitting in the driver's seat checking it out, and I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the seat all the way down and all the way back to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. So this is actually a little bit too far back for me, and but it is a lot of legroom here. The angle of the footrest is nice, and it's just too far back. I can put my feet straight out. So I do need to pull it up a little bit, and when I get it in position, this is soft right here on the inside, so where I hit my knee there. But there's not that much, it's not a big deal, because where the pedal is, it's squishing me up. Actually, this is a straight alignment between my hip and my foot, and with the pedal, and there's still room, so it's not a big deal there. And on this side, there's plenty of room as well, and this is also soft touch, so if I happen to hit that, it's not a big deal. Okay, very impressive steering wheel. You have wood portions, bamboo, and leather, and where the leather is very soft. And what's interesting about this, this bamboo is wood, of course, so it's not soft. But it's not hard on your hands for some reason. I don't know if it's the contour, the coating. There's something about this wood that is very comfortable, and it just is not an issue as far as I haven't taken a long trip with it or anything, but it just seems like there's not an issue. Sometimes wood steering wheels are kind of, they kind of dig into your bones, but I think it's they have a really good contour, and and also the finish has a smooth finish and a nice contour. So they did a great job, and they're not slippery either. The surface is not slippery. It moves. Your hands can slide across it, but once you grip it, you're not slipping. So it's really nice. And the leather portion is really soft and cushy and comfortable. And it is a heated steering wheel, as I mentioned before, but it is absolutely impressive. So the cruise control is in a separate stock down here. You turn it on by pushing this button. You can set, resume, and cancel. Now also, your adaptive cruise control is activated once you turn this on, and you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you by cycling through this button, and this is to toggle on and off your lane keep assist. And driving the vehicle, I have a test drive video, you can check that out, but basically driving the vehicle with the lane keep assist, it's better than some, but it's, all of them have issues as far as like making you swerve around and constantly fight against you while you're trying to drive, and it just doesn't account for everything. So all these like things that steer for you, I'm not really a big fan of. Now the Bluetooth control, you can answer, hang up phones once you have your phone paired, of course. Voice recognition is here, so you can bark out commands and tell the car what you want to do, change the radio station, that kind of stuff, or call somebody. So speaking of radio station or radio, you have your volume button. This is to change through your tracks or your stations here. Now up, it's kind of weird because it's up and down, so the orientation is weird, but up is forward and down is backward. So if you're going forward into a playlist, this is the next song, that's the previous song. So instead of left and right, they're up and down. So as long as you got that memorized, you're good to go. Now mode, that's your audio source. You can change like AM, FM, satellite radio, USB, that kind of thing, Bluetooth. And now the steering wheel also has paddle shifters here on the back. So you can see right here, it goes across to the bottom. And they're not in the way, but they're there in case you want them, in case you want to use them. Windshield wiper controls are here, so on the right side. And you have the regular, pull down to engage and goes faster as you go down. And this is your rear wiper by turning this. Now, this position here, automatic. So you have up to mist, now it's an off. You go down one, this is automatic. So this has the rain sensing windshield wipers. And you basically, that's the, once you put an automatic, then it will, sense the rain. Until you do that, it's not going to sense the rain. So here on the left side is your turn signal, but it also has your headlight controls. You have the ability to turn off all the exterior lights. Automatic, of course, it turns on and off by itself. And you can check out my night video, they're really fantastic lights. Parking light, and then there's your headlights. Fog lights are controlled here, off and on. And the cornering lamps turn on automatically as you turn your steering wheel. But you have to turn your steering wheel quite a bit for them to activate. You can check out my night video for that. So these buttons right here correspond with the screen between the gauges. We'll get to that in just a second. So here's your gauges. On the left side is your engine coolant temperature. On the far right is your fuel gauge. Speedometer is here. Your tachometer, RPMs, is on the left side. Traditional gauges. In the center you have this little screen. And it has the outside temperature, the clock, what gear you're in, the trip, and some safety features showing you that they're active. But using these buttons, I'm going to scroll down. Okay, so I'm going to just go down, the down arrow. So you can see this is part of a menu system. And these icons are here at the top. So I'm in the information one with the I. And this is the blank screen. So as I scroll down, I have some information as far as the fuel economy, range, how long, so after you started the vehicle, after you refueled, it gives you, a timer, and then, it counts your miles per gallon since the last time you refueled, if you forget to do your trip or whatever. Eco indicator, this will be as you drive, it'll let you know how well you're doing as far as saving gas. Tire pressure, this shows up here. And then this is your all-wheel drive system, so it'll actually tell you how much power, these little meters right here, how much power is going to each individual wheel. So normally your wheels in the front are going to be the ones that are delivering the power to the road, but when it needs it, it will engage the rear wheels, and it decides that. Then it goes back to the blank screen. Scrolling to the right, so you can see that we're going to the next icon here. This just basically gives you the digital compass. It also, that's the same digital compass that shows up on your heads-up display. The next one to the right is your radio. And whatever the case is, so if it's Bluetooth audio, it's whatever you're playing, it'll show up right here. So we can change that by scrolling down.
On what?
And so we can change the audio source just simply by scrolling down in this particular case.
Watching.
And if we push the center button, we can go to a specific one. All right, so let's go to the next one. This is your radar system. So it just shows you the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, those bars there. So you can select that. You can also turn on or off your lane tracing assist. So basically lane tracing is a little bit different than the lane keeping assist. The lane tracing tries to keep you in the center of the lane. It also will follow the vehicle in front of you. And so it's a little bit better than lane keep. So lane keep would be to keep you, so if it'll just kind of wander from one side to the other and bounce back. The lane tracing tries to keep you in the center, and it's a little bit better, but it's still, you know, problematic at times. You still have to drive your vehicle. It's not a self-driving type deal. All right, stored messages will show up here, and then the last one here is your settings. So you can go in and change your lane tracing assist. You can turn that on or off. The pre-collision system, you can adjust the sensitivity, blind spot monitor system, all these different, your HUD, clock, you can change all this. You can go into your vehicle settings, and that has a whole nother deal with your maintenance and all that stuff. So that's all your settings. Then you scroll to the right, it goes back to the beginning, which is your information. In this particular case, in this vehicle, I would just, since it doesn't have a digital speedometer here, I would just have a blank screen, I guess. The digital speedometer is on the heads-up display. I would prefer to have it down here, but that's just the way it is. All right, so there's the start button. So here's your screen, and the way the screen is, it is actually a touch screen. So you can touch buttons here on the screen if you want to, but it's kind of far away. It's not really designed to be a touch screen per se, as far as normal use of it. It's designed to be used with this little pad right here. So I don't know if you can hear that. When you move this, it's kind of like a mouse on the screen, okay? And then it kind of snaps into different settings. Apparently the screen locked up and restarted. Alright, so... okay, so we're back where we started. So this is the map, and it's actually a nighttime map because it's getting a little dim, and the light sensor is sensing that it's darker. So this is the nighttime looking map. So basically, it's like a laptop, you know, you have this little thing, and but instead of a laptop just giving you free flowing jazz as far as your cursor, it snaps into the next different ones. So that way you don't have to hover and try to get all precise. It'll go ahead and snap into each selection. You just move in that direction. And there's a whole lot of things. So this is the menu button. So you have a menu button down here, and this pops up, and you have all these different selections. So you can put in a destination, you have audio, and you notice once you hover on one, then it has this other menu that pops up, and you can make more detailed selections. So I can go into there. Let's go to the phone. I can go into that. It's not paired right now, but you can see where it's blacked out. Apps, infotainment. It does have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto capabilities as well, with a projection right there at that one. And this is just information set up, so your settings are going right here, and then your climate control. Let's go into climate control, and so you can see it gives you some information that you can go into. But there's this button right here. You see this little arrows up. You see the back button, the menu, the map. Quickly go to the map. I wish it had more physical buttons as far as shortcut buttons besides just the map. Maybe a radio button or something. But anyways, this button, it's not used on all the screens, but here on the climate control, I'll show you what it does. We push it, and it opens up a sub-menu. So basically, a lot of screens don't have sub-menus, but that's what that button does. Alright, so let's go back to here, and we'll go to setup. You double tap your selection. So if you just tap one time, so tap one time, it's not going to do anything. You have to tap twice in order to go to a selection. Now you notice that this is pretty complicated, this screen. It's not really that user-friendly as far as the driver using it while you're driving. It's not all that intuitive. It's like a computer in which you have to sit here and focus on and look at it and see where you're at, where you're going, and pull up what you need to pull up. So we go to this app right here, We can go into updates. So there's nothing here. The app basically is for your cell phone, which is connected with the system wirelessly through Bluetooth. It's pretty cool because you can set up all kinds of you can save addresses into your navigation and all kinds of stuff using that app. So it's pretty cool. So let's go to here. See right here, these little selections here. This is actually a little extra side thing. So we can go here, double tap on that, go there, and then that pops open. Okay, so you notice there's but 2 maps now, but you can go over here and choose another thing. So like say if you want the map and the radio, you can have that as well. Or you can go to this one right here and get driver information, fuel economy, trip information, and then you can have your climate control instead. Or you can make it go away. So it has a pretty nice screen. The resolution's pretty good, and you can, make selections, but you can zoom in and out on your map. But like I was saying, it's not really intended for you to be playing around while you're driving. It's not easy. It's not a simple glance and make a selection. It's concentrate on, hover your hand over, make selections, double tapping, navigating through a complex system here. So just keep that in mind as far as if there's things you want to do while you're driving, it's not going to be super easy. You would have to really practice it in your driveway before you get out on the road. Pretty much everything on this, because it is not, it's not like a normal vehicle, so just keep that in mind. Here's a pretty cool regular analog clock, and what's interesting about it is you just set it in the system, on the computer system, and the little dial will spin around and adjust it that way. It's just kind of self-adjusting. It's pretty neat. There is a CD player right in here for those of you keeping the 90s alive, and then there's your volume, tune through the stations, your radio information there. So you notice there is some quick access buttons, so we can push these buttons right here, media, and seek through the tracks, play and pause, and eject the CD. So this helps out a lot, but still, once you make the selection to the menu system, you still have to use this and navigate to your selection. So it helps out a lot having these physical buttons, but still it doesn't really entirely solve the problem as far as the distraction. Climate control is very complex here, so not complex, it is easy to use, but it is a lot of features. So you have the driver and passenger temperatures over here. You can have those dual temperatures, so your driver and passenger separate, or you can have them locked together by pushing the dual off. That way when I adjust this one, the passenger will be the same. Front and rear defrosters. Automatic is just basically turn the automatic on for your fan and then set the temperature, and it'll handle everything, and it does a really good job. It's a little slow going when it's really hot for the air conditioner, but it doesn't take long once you're on the road to cool off, and it has a nice even temperature in the vehicle, so it's not like really hot in certain areas or not, but it's just a really good air conditioning and the climate control in general. It's not too loud. Now it does have the cooled seats, and when they're on with the other fans, it kind of adds a little bit more noise, but it kind of helps drown out exterior noise, by the way. But anyways, all these features are here. They're big buttons, easy to find, and they're fairly intuitive. It's starting to get a little dark, so let's go ahead and bring the sun back up. There we go. That's a lot better. Couldn't really see all that good a second ago, but now I want to show you how nice this looks with the wood and everything, and in the dark it's not very good. But anyways, just kind of overview what we saw in the dark, and then now you can see there's a little pocket back here, and And there's a place to put your cell phone here. I did have to take my case off in order to fit it in this compartment. It's not like super wide. Now I do have a wide case, so if you had a normal size case, you could probably put your phone in there. But if you wanted to plug it in for the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto, you'd have to put it in upside down. So that way your plug can go to these USBs. Or you could put your cell phone in this little compartment back here, like so. And it's not a wireless charger though. I'm surprised I don't see one in here. Maybe that's an option or something. But then you have the 2 USB ports there, and then you have a 12-volt power supply. And then this is where you put your cell phone there. It has like a rubber part. Now this is interesting. It has right in here, let me get in, move the shifter out of the way. You have a brake hold, so this will hold the brake for you while you are sitting at a stoplight or extended period of time at a stopping anywhere, basically in traffic or whatever. And then you have electronic parking brake, and I really like the fact that this engages and disengages automatically. So when I put it in park and get out of the vehicle, it'll engage, and when I want to drive the vehicle, it disengages at the appropriate time and allows me to drive. So it's an automatic parking brake that functions automatically when you're parked. So that's great. You don't have to manually disengage it or engage it. So over here you also have heated and cooled seats. So it's a 3-stage. So it's high, medium, and low. But it also has an automatic function. So when that's enabled, this will automatically turn on and off for the driver and the passenger based on your climate control settings. So if you have the heat on, instead of the cooled seat, it's going to put the heated seat on, and it's going to put it onto a similar degree of what temperature you have for the climate control. So it kind of estimates how it's supposed to be based on how you have the climate control set. So that's pretty neat. It just kind of automatically comes on and off. So I like that. That's really, really handy. But look at this bamboo. I mean, you saw it on the steering wheel, but it's looking really nice. So here's the shifter, and has the same leather here like you see in the steering wheel. And it has stitching, contrast stitching, and it's in a French stitch. And let's go ahead and, now the way the shifter is, you have to follow a path, and it kind of gives you an idea. So you go over and down to reverse, then neutral, drive, and then there's your manual mode here. So you can bump like a ratchet shifter and change to the gears, similar to your paddle shifters on your steering wheel, but it's not hard to do or anything. But when you have it in reverse, the camera system pops up, and it has 2 views. One is directly behind the vehicle, and the other one, and also to the side. So it's a nice wide angle view. So it's distorted a little bit, but it does give you a view from both directions and immediately behind the vehicle. And then you have this top down view, so you can see where your vehicle is in relationship to whatever's around you, basically. So in my case, you can see I'm not parked in the lines properly. Actually, I have to move the vehicle based on where the sun is. So I'm not parking the vehicle in a proper parking spot. Luckily, there's nobody here, so it doesn't matter. But you can see that I'm not parked properly. You know, you can see the lines, and you can see where the vehicle is. And so as I back up, you can see the backup camera, but also where the vehicle is in relationship to those lines. You also, as you turn the steering wheel, there's active lines. So not only do you have active guidelines here to show you, where the estimated trajectory of the vehicle is, your path, but also your tires as well. So you can see where this tire is going to swing out. Or actually, it's the side of the vehicle, but it also kind of matches with the tire as well. But you can see where your front end is going to swing that way. So if there's something there, then it kind of gives you an idea of where your vehicle is going to go. Same thing when I turn to the right, it swings out and shows you where the front of the vehicle is going to swing when you have a when you're turning, basically in reverse. Also, this camera view. Well, let's go back to reverse, because you have different views here in the reverse screen. So you can have like a super crazy wide angle view there. You can have that, and then you can turn those active guidelines off. So the way the camera is set up, I'm going to push the camera button. Remember with this button over here? I'm going to push that. And you can see it kind of does this little animation thing, or to show you what your immediate surroundings are. And then it pulls back to a top-down view. But it's a little bit distorted, kind of bubbly looking when you look at that view. You can look at this view right here, and it shows you what's immediately around the vehicle. So you can see that line is not 100% straight, but you can kind of get the idea of what's around the vehicle. When I put it in drive and I have this automatic option turned on, it gives me a front view instead of the back view, but we still have the view here. But you notice it has these little brackets showing the front of the vehicle, and you can see these brackets here in the front view. So it's showing you, so you can see the relationship between those brackets and these brackets, so you can get an idea of how close you are to things. Because this is a little bit distorted in its wide angle view. But you notice the center portion is shaded, so that they don't want you to be driving forward and looking at this screen the whole time. This is just to check on the screen while you're, pulling into a parking spot. So as I'm creeping along, going into a place, if seems like I'm getting the front end's getting a little bit close to something, I can look at the screen and see where the vehicle is in relationship to other things, other cars, shopping carts, anything like that. So the fact they have that automatic function, when you slow down to like under 5 miles an hour, something really slow, it will automatically turn on this camera so you can see while you're pulling into a parking spot. You don't have to take your attention away from driving to turn this on. It automatically turns on, and it's perfect. It comes on at the perfect time, because right when I'm thinking, hey, am I getting close to something, I look at the screen and I can see how far I am away. I can pull right on up and get close to a car in front of me while I'm parking in a parking spot. It's just really, really handy. Now you have these cup holders, and it looks like regular cup holders, but it has these articulating arms, and they're actually two-stage. You have like this little, like a soft material, like a slick material right there, and then the whole piece collapses. So when you're putting a cup in, sometimes it kind of rests on these parts, and the other times these pull out of the way and allow you for access for different size cups. And speaking of that, also it's open in the middle, if you can put a handle, or just you can utilize this space for anything, not just cups. But this side, you see this button here, it's actually backlit. Now there's no lighting inside the cups other than that. But anyways, this side, let's say you had a tall cup. Well, this bottom part is spring loaded, so I can push it down. You can actually see how far down it goes. You can have like a tall cup and you push it down, and then that way it holds it better. So, and if you want to pull that back up, you just push this button and it comes back up. So I thought it was pretty cool. I don't really have a cup that specifically needs that, but I can see where somebody might want to have maybe a tall bottle or something like that. They want to have it more secured in there, they can push it down. So that's kind of neat, a little extra feature there. Okay, so this is what we went over before for the touch screen, the screen there. It's a little touchpad and then your buttons, and then this is the sub menu, map and all that stuff. So over here, so this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, and the normal position is going to just basically handle everything for you. It's going to engage the rear wheels when needed. You do have the ability to lock the center differential. So this button right here, this is for like off-road type deal. So if you need to, that's only for like, you don't want to be driving around normally with a lock differential. But this gives you the ability to give you a little bit more, you're forcing it basically to put the power to the rear wheels. Right, normally it's going to be just the front wheels. And then you have a Sport and Eco. And then this is, you can turn off the traction control here. So when we put it in Eco, we turn it over here to Eco, this is going to tell the vehicle that you want the best fuel economy. Go to the right, Sport, and it'll actually show you what you're in up here. Also right here, your shifter. your position. You have Eco and Sport. Now we're going back into the normal. And how you get back to normal, so you have Sport to the right, Eco to the left, and normal, you push it down. That's how you operate it. So normal seems fine. I mean, I have plenty of power and all that stuff, so if you're not, you know, you can kind of play it around, but Sport seems a little bit too aggressive to me. And that's normal for most vehicles. The Sport seems, for my preferences, driving around in Sport mode is just not, it's just a little bit too much. Alright, so this is just an armrest for you operating those controls. It's not super soft though. It's kind of surprised. It's like soft, but then it bottoms out very quickly, and it's like hard as a rock underneath that. The armrest, on the other hand, is very soft. So all this is super duper soft. I don't even feel any bottom to it. It's kind of rubbery soft though. It's not like a pillow, so that way it keeps a good form. It's not going to deform or anything. So this lifts up, and it's kind of spring loaded, so it doesn't flop back down on you. Place to put a pin or a tire gauge there. And then this is your compartment, and there's a piece of paper under there because it's dark. As far as the color, so it's a dark color, so it's kind of hard to see on camera, but it does have some illumination at night, so you can see that my night video talking about that and showing it. This is all felt lined in here. It's pretty cool. 12-volt power supply, an auxiliary input, and 2 USB ports as well. And when you close this, it doesn't seem like there's any ability to put a wire in and out without possibly pinching it, so it's secure. It's sealed up pretty good, so keep that in mind as far as putting wires in and out. I guess you can probably run it out the side or something and it won't pinch it as much, but right in here it has this little piece that goes down in, so yeah. But anyways, that's the center compartment. The rear view mirror is auto dimming. It's an auto dim rear view mirror, and it's actually auto dimming right now because I have the shade over this light sensor. And the side mirror is also auto dim on the driver and passenger. So you can see they're all both auto dimmed. You can turn that feature off if you want to right here. Home link garage door opener controls are on the bottom side of the rear view mirror. And this is a place to put your sunglasses, and it has like a kind of like a felt lining, but it's not very, just to keep them from getting scratched. It's not cushy or anything. And then you have tap lights, and literally you just like touch them, just touch the lens and they turn on and off. To turn on the interior lights, just push right there and it turns on the back light and the front light. It's pretty cool. It's not a button, you just touch it. And then you can have all the lights turn on with the door by having that turned on. This button is for your sunroof. This is for your shade for your sunroof. I'll get to that in just a second. And then you have roadside assistance here. You actually dial and you can talk to an operator. The visor has a mirror and a light. And it's like a cloth material, same as the headliner. This slides out as well. It also has this little place right here to put a registration or something in. Little paper holder. The visor on the passenger side is the same way. It even has that as well. The sunroof is huge, so it's a panoramic sunroof. It goes from here all the way back to the passenger, over the rear passengers' heads. It's really nice. And one of the things I like about it, it has a shade that covers 100% of the light. So if you don't want any sun coming in, you can cover it up. So, and it turns into a normal roof looking. So let's go ahead and move the shade back. So we can tilt it up like so. Let some air come in, or we can move it back. That's as far back as it goes. So it's interesting that it only goes back like a quarter of the entire span. The back portion is fixed, this portion moves, but it doesn't even move that far back. It's a little bit, it's like half of the front part anyway. Move that back. Okay, so let's look at the visibility in the back. So you have, it's hard to tell on the outside. I pointed this out when we're looking at the profile, but on the very back there's these windows. So you have a window there in that little spot. So looking on the outside of the vehicle, looking at it, you can't tell there's a little tiny window there, and that actually does help out a lot with the visibility and backing up and changing lanes and all that stuff. So overall, I think the visibility is great. The cameras, of course, the camera system, any limitations you have as far as the visibility here, the camera system makes up for it. In addition to the rear cross traffic alert, the blind spot detection system, you got a full camera system, you have parking sensors. So even if you have rear passengers with like huge afros and you can't see out, then you're still going to be able to see because you have this full camera system and all the other features that this vehicle has. So it's really cool. I mean, it's a great vehicle. There's a lot positive to say about it. So thank you for watching. I'm going to have a video, a night video. I'm going to have a test drive video. I may even do a likes and dislikes, because there's a couple things that I don't really care for in this vehicle. It's kind of, you know, just my personal taste. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.